Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to look at modding some original Xbox consoles. Now, you may wonder why in 2019 I am talking about modding original Xbox consoles. Well, frankly the original Xbox is pretty much my all-time favorite console. They're fairly easy to mod, and you know what? I've never done it before. I want to give it a shot. Now, full disclosure, I have never actually modded a console before. I do actually have one other original Xbox that's not shown here. It's in the TV stand, and that's the Xbox I normally play games on. The only thing I have done to that console is at one point a couple of years ago, it would not power on, and it turns out that some of the capacitors, not the clock capacitors, but some of the other capacitors inside had swollen and started to leak, and that caused it to not turn on. I was able to get those replaced, and that is the one and only time I have ever opened an original Xbox console. Now, I'm pretty sure that that console is a version 1.6, so there shouldn't be any need to actually replace the clock capacitor in that at any point, so I should be done with that one for a while. These consoles, I'm not 100% sure on their versions. There are a number of ways to figure out what version your Xbox console is, but the most conclusive way to find that out is to open it up and look at the hardware inside. But I have not opened up any of these consoles, so I don't know for sure what versions they are. I have my suspicions on some of them, but I don't know for sure, so this will be an experiment to figure out what version each one of these is. The one in the lower right, I believe to be a version 1.6 due to the manufacture date and the kernel that it's running. The other three black original Xboxes there, I believe they're actually all version 1.0s due to manufacturing date and kernel. Again, though, I don't know for sure because I've never opened them up and never verified. The green Halo edition on top. Now, it's interesting with this one. I've read that the Halo Special Edition consoles were all only version 1.2 and were only made in China, I believe, in 2003. This one actually has a manufacture date of 2004. And the kernel it's running, I believe, makes it a version 1.4. But again, I do plan on figuring that out eventually. My plan for this video is to go ahead and soft mod all of these. I'll show the process for soft modding on one of the consoles, and I'll go ahead and do the other four off camera and report the results. Again, I have never done this before. I am not an expert, so it's very possible that I might blow this up somehow. So this video will either be informative or hilarious. Let's find out which. Alright, I'd like to start with the general disclaimer that this is not an instructional video. I'm not telling people to do exactly as I'm doing because, as I stated earlier, I've never actually done this before. So this video is really more for entertainment purposes than educational purposes. So, that disclaimer out of the way, I am going to be using Splinter Cell. The game disc itself is actually the Platinum Hits version. I bought it used and it came in the non-Platinum Hits box, but the Platinum Hits disc should work just as well as the non-Platinum Hits disc. The thumb drive I'm using is a SanDisk Cruiser Blade, I believe. It's a 4 GB model. I got it off of Amazon for just a few dollars. They're still readily available and they work. Just a note for anyone who wants to try this, just something to bear in mind. The first Xbox controller port to USB adapter I bought did not work. So I went through several thumb drives trying to find one that worked, only to have none of them work, and I read that this one for sure worked. I ordered it, it still didn't work, and out of desperation I ordered a new adapter, and it turns out that my problem was the adapter all along. So if you do buy the SanDisk Cruiser Blade thumb drive and your Xbox does not recognize it, you might consider purchasing a new adapter and see if that takes care of your issue. So the process I'm going to be using is actually laid out and explained very well by Mr. Mario. I will provide a link to his video going over the process so that if anybody wants to use that, they have that information. It's probably much more valuable than what I'm going to show you here. I'm also going to be using the Rocky 5 mod because it is currently the most accepted and well-liked version of the soft modding tool. So first thing we're going to do is go into memory and copy over the saved game files. Okay, both files that we need should now be copied to the hard drive, so I should be able to pop the game in and start the mod. In Splinter Cell, you're going to load up the Linux profile once you hit Start Game. And I may have done that wrong. Oh, there it goes. Alright, so the eject button on the Xbox is red. That's actually a good thing. That just means that the soft modding tool loaded properly. And this is where we basically press A and actually start the soft mod itself. Now, as part of the mod, it backs up your EEPROM in case there's any problems. Once we finish the actual soft mod itself, I'll go in and actually copy the EEPROM to a backup folder on my computer so that in case there's ever a problem, I will have it. If I ever have to replace the hard drive or anything like that, I can get to that information. Alright, so once we restart the Xbox, it should be officially modded at this point. And hey, it's loading everything exactly like it's supposed to. Should probably take the game disc out. Okay, and according to the information here, it appears that I do in fact have a version 1.4 Xbox on my Halo Special Edition. Again, that's interesting just because I previously read that all Halo Special Edition consoles were 1.2, but this one, according to the Rocky 5 mod, is a 1.4. So I'm going to go in and install a few things from the extras disc that is highly recommended with the Rocky 5 mod. But it does appear at this point that I have a successfully soft modded Xbox. We'll go ahead and turn the camera off so you don't have to watch a bunch of boring stuff. But I'm going to repeat this process on the other 5 consoles, and I will verify their version numbers, and I will be updating the labels here to let me know for sure what version Xbox I have. So. Alright, it is actually the next day. I spent a while last night working on all 5 Xboxes, and I was successfully able to get 3 of those 5 Xboxes soft modded. The other 2 I was actually unable to soft mod because I didn't realize until I tried to put the game disc in. Both of those 2 consoles, the disk drive sticks and will not open at all. I even tried manually opening the drive using a paper clip, but I wasn't able to get either one of those open. One of the 3 Xboxes that I did successfully soft mod did also have a sticking drive, but I was able to manually open that with a paper clip. So again, I did get 3 of the 5 Xboxes successfully soft modded. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. What I'm going to do in the next video is actually crack open those 2 Xboxes that I could not get the drive open no matter what I tried, and I will attempt to fix those drives and then get them soft modded. I will also, in that video, since I'm going to be opening them up anyway, is I'm going to go ahead and remove the clock capacitor from those. I also might do it to the other 2 consoles that are the 1.0 and 1.4 that I successfully soft modded. Go ahead and get the clock capacitor removed from all 4 of those older machines. As most of you know, the clock capacitor is kind of a ticking time bomb, and it's good to get those out as soon as you can. So that'll be the next video, and then from there I will tackle other mods and videos after that. So hope you enjoyed the entertainment. Thanks for watching.